Hi, welcome to Deep Psoas Release. My name is Marnie Bounds. This is a practice in which I'll be moving you through a series of exercises that will induce deep fatigue in the psoas muscle, and by doing so, that releases the long held tension and trauma that we get stored up in our psoas muscle. So as we fatigue the muscle, it will induce a quiver that actually is an involuntary quiver coming from the brainstem, and this cleanses the nervous system, releases the tension in the muscle, and just overall helps the body come back into that harmonious balance that it needs for good health. So if you haven't checked out my video yet, please do so. It's Psoas, the muscle of the soul. I'll have the links below. And also I have another video that just has some general techniques to help keep and maintain the health of the psoas. So please check those videos out as well. So let's go ahead and get started with deep psoas release. Not so fast. Just before we begin, you'll need a mat for this practice. And if you've never seen the psoas muscle, well, here it is. It's a group of muscle fibers, actually, that attach to the front of the spine and then connect into the femur bones. So this muscle group has two separate group of muscle fibers on either side of the spine and can connect to each leg. This is an important muscle because it connects the upper and lower body and has a great significance in our fight or flight response. If you'd like to know more about deep psoas release and the psoas muscle itself, please watch my video, Psoas, the muscle to the soul. Starting in a standing position, take the feet nice and wide and slowly begin to roll from side to side through the ankles. So you're lifting up each edge of the foot as you roll to that side, and continue on for 10 to 15 reps. And then coming back to stand, we're going to shift to calf raises. You can use a wall for support. Send your weight to one foot and gently lift the heel, rising up, doing a gentle calf raise. Once again, 10 to 15 reps each side. Take your time, you don't have to rush through it, nice and slow. Finishing up that first side, go ahead and switch it to the opposite leg. So switching legs 10 to 15 times, calf raises on this side. Slowly finishing up on that calf raise, bring both feet to the ground and shift your weight into one leg. Hands come to the floor, one-legged deep knee bending. So 10 to 15 reps on each side. Just bending the standing leg, the other leg just floats. You can use a chair or a wall for support if needed. After your final rep, release this floating leg and switch sides. So opposite leg, moving into deep knee bends on the opposite side. Once again, 10 to 15 reps. Completing the final rep, bring the foot back down to the floor and slowly make your way up to standing. Taking the legs nice and wide, coming into a forward fold. We're going to drop the torso to one side, over towards one leg, and deep breathing here. Long, slow, deep breaths. Now transition to the other side. Once again, long, slow, deep breaths. And finally, coming back to the middle, let the head relax, the back of the neck hang, and again, deep breathing, forward fold. Take a deep bend into the knees and slowly make your way back up to standing. We're going to bow into the back or take a back bend. So start with making fists by tucking your thumbs into your palms and making a fist. Placing the fist in the back, the low back as the elbows point back. Shift the hips to the left and press forward as you gaze over your right shoulder. 3 deep breaths here. Gently release and now come back to center and shift to the other side. So press the hips to the right and press forward, gaze over left shoulder. Again, 3 deep breaths. Coming out of the back bend, gently make your way back up into standing. And find an open space on the wall. We're coming into a wall sit. So sending your seat up against the wall and then bending deep into the knees as the seat slides down the wall. We're going to be here for a little bit. So you'll want to find that edge where you can hang out. You can bring your elbows to the knees and let your hands just rest. Press your low back into the wall if you're having any low back discomfort. Or just come into a natural sit position. The goal here is to fatigue the muscle group, the quads and the hamstrings. These are the 2 largest muscle groups in the body. So you'll want to find that place where you're pushing your edge, but not pushing too far since we will be here for a little bit. At any point, if you want to come out, slide up the wall about 1 inch or 2. But try to remain in the squat position as much as you can. If you need to completely come out for a short time and then come back in. 3 more long, slow, deep breaths here. And now as you're ready, we'll slowly ease our way out of the wall squat. Come back up to stand and find your way back to the mat. We're coming into a forward ragdoll position hang. So allow your body just to hang over the legs. You can crisscross and grab opposite elbows, take a bend into the knees. You might actually find if you bend your knees a little bit more, the quiver is already beginning to happen. So you should feel a little shake, but you can straighten out the legs if the shake gets too intense. At any point, take any arm position. You can interlace the hands behind the back of the neck and let the head hang, or just allow the hands to drop to the floor, or like I said, crisscross and grab opposite elbows. Staying in this position for 2 to 3 minutes. Slowly coming out of the forward fold, you can roll yourself up vertebra by vertebra. Head and shoulders are the last to come up. We're going to make our way back down onto the floor. So come to lie on the mat on your back. Bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. Resting position in reclining Baddha Konasana or diamond-shaped legs. Arms can just rest out to the side. And deep, slow breaths here. Keeping the feet together and the knees out wide, you can slide the heels a little closer in toward your seat and lift the hips up off of the floor. We're going to keep those hips lifted anywhere from 3 to 5 inches. This is a longer hold, once again up to 5 minutes. So you may need to come in and out of this one as much as you need to. This is the particular pose that fatigues the psoas. So you'll want to make sure to get the most out of the pose by staying up as long as you can. But you're also welcome to come down, take a break, shake it out, and come back up when you need to. I find it a little easier to sometimes tuck the shoulder blades underneath as if you're moving into a bridge pose to help to support the upper body. And keeping the soles of the feet together. So the feet are not resting on the ground, but the soles are in that diamond shape. It is very likely that the hips and the legs are already beginning to quiver and shake. Just allow the shake to happen naturally. This is a natural response of the body as it begins to fatigue. Three more deep breaths here. now slowly release the hips back down onto the floor. Once again, taking the legs out wide in diamond shape, keeping the soles of the feet together. Resting here for 1 to 2 minutes. And now one final exercise before we actually move into the shaking position, the final shake. You're going to slightly lift the knees up towards the ceiling, 2 to 3 inches, keeping the soles of the feet together. Just the knees are lifted and the legs are still at that diamond shape. You will probably be feeling a little to a lot of quivering or shaking happening already, but we keep the feet together and the knees lift 2 to 3 inches up. We will be holding this for 2 to 3 minutes. And now moving into the final position. This is the position in which the natural brainstem involuntary shake or quiver will happen. So placing the feet flat onto the floor, keeping the knees slightly wide. The feet are only about 1 inch apart. You can play with the distance between the knees. The quiver or shake will happen differently depending on how close or far apart the knees are, so that's entirely up to you. And as you're here, completely relax. Let your whole body relax and let the involuntary response happen on its own. You might notice vigorous shaking or subtle shaking. And the shaking or quivering can happen anywhere in the body. It doesn't necessarily just stay in the legs. So trust the process. Allow yourself to relax completely into the process. Another important thing to note is because this is an involuntary response from the brainstem, the shaking or quivering will happen in waves. Sometimes the shaking will be more vigorous, and sometimes it won't be quite so much. Just trust whatever your body is doing and know that it is doing exactly what it needs to do to release and heal. At any time, you are in charge. You are able to release the posture whenever you like. So to let go or release the posture, you will just straighten out the legs and come into rest. Typically, the shaking can happen anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. But remember, it's entirely up to you what the response will be and when you need to finish the practice. So again, to release, straighten out the legs and come into rest whenever you're ready. We're coming up to 10 minutes of shaking. You're more than welcome to continue on and allow the shake to happen as long as you like. I would suggest only going for about 30 minutes as to not to overdo it. As you're ready, if you want to release the shake, you can slowly bring those legs out to straight and wiggle into the body, coming into a final resting position. Allow the body to completely relax. If you need to give the knees a squeeze or move in any way before you come into this final resting position, go ahead and do so. But give yourself a few good minutes to lie here and rest and allow your body to integrate everything that it just did in these last 30-something minutes.